Hello and welcome to Cần Thơ News of Cần Thơ Radio and Television Station. Here are today's headlines. A meeting by Cần Thơ City National Assembly Delegation to prepare for the upcoming 7th session of the 15th National Assembly. A national online conference on the results of searching and gathering martyrs remains. A conference to comment on the draft plan to implement solutions to increase economic growth targets in Cần Thơ City in the last months of 2024. Top news today. On May 16 morning, the City National Assembly Delegation held a meeting with the Standing Committee of the People's Council, People's Committee, Vietnam Fatherland Front Committee, and relevant agencies to contribute content to prepare for the upcoming 7th session of the 15th National Assembly. In light of this, the delegation obtained the direct remarks of 45 voters as well as 13 written suggestions concerning commodity prices, state agency impersonation on the internet, and climate change. The cost of certain necessities has gone up, and the sluggish construction of landslide embankments and traffic improvements has an impact on people's life. Voters have suggested spending money to widen Nguyễn Văn Linh Street in particular, since it is too small for the amount of traffic that passes through it. The Omon Power Center project is still facing challenging issues. The delegates discussed and exchanged voters' recommendations during the meeting. It was important to go over recommendations that the public had made for the government and ministries, avoiding generalization and distributing opinions so that the National Assembly would receive a report that accurately reflected the wishes of the people. On May 15 morning, the National Steering Committee on Searching, Gathering and Identifying Martyrs' Remains held an online conference on the result of implementing the Prime Minister's decisions on regimes, policies and assurance work for organizations and individuals tasked with searching and gathering martyrs' remains.
Since 2013, the entire nation has conducted searches and gathered the remains of 21,228 martyrs, partially fulfilling the desires of the populace and the families of the victims, and helping to stabilize the political and social situation in the nation. Putting in place procedures, guidelines and other measures to guarantee that the organizations and people in charge of the looking for and collecting martyrs' remains do so completely, quickly and for the appropriate reasons. Still around 180,000 martyrs' remains are missing from the collection. Ministry, department, central and local branches must concentrate on investigating and suggesting the creation of arrangements, policies and initiatives in the near future to guarantee that groups and individuals entrusted with finding the remains of fallen victims, accurately reflecting the party and state special attention to this work, guarantee and comprehensive coverage of the contents of the collective search work, fulfill the demands of the challenging, arduous, sacrificial nature of the task, and genuinely help to inspire and encourage the forces to carry out this noble and sacred task.
On May 16 morning, the Central Propaganda Department held an online conference for rapporteur in May 2024. During the conference, attendees heard from ministries' public security leaders with specific knowledge about the law on identification, the law on forces protecting security and order at local level, and 5 bills that the Ministry of Public Security chaired and recommended that the National Assembly submit to it during the 7th session of the 15th National Assembly. The Ministry of Public Security has created these significant legislations and draft laws, which include innovative ideas and provisions in compliance with both international law and the circumstances of the nation. The Vice Secretary of the City Party Committee and Chairman of the People's Committee of Cần Thơ City, Mr. Trần Việt Trường, on the morning of May 16, chaired a conference to comment on draft plan to implement solutions to increase economic growth target, GRDP, in Cần Thơ City in the last months of 2024. Leaders from the Department of Planning and Investment briefed the conference on the city's socio-economic status for the first quarter and presented growth scenarios that would help determine which solutions would be best given by localities' particular circumstances. The Provincial Competitiveness Index, PCI, Public Administration Performance Index, PAPI, Administrative Reform Index, PAR Index, the implementation of balancing the city's budget revenues and expenditures, expected ability to complete revenue and expenditures estimates for 2024, and solution to foster and exploit the city's large and potential revenue sources in the remaining months of 2024 were also shared by city departments, agencies, and branches here. To better serve the travel needs of people and tourists, Lâm Đồng Provincial People's Committee said it is asking Vietnam Airlines to research increasing the frequency of flights to and from Liên Khương Nội Bài, Tân Sơn Nhất, especially to restore the Liên Khương Cần Thơ flight route.
Additionally, Lâm Đồng suggested that Vietnam Airlines reinstate the following routes: Liên Khương Vinh, Liên Khương Phú Quốc, Liên Khương Đà Nẵng, and Liên Khương Huế. In particular, the Liên Khương Cần Thơ route, which serves as the means of connecting the provinces in the Highlands and the Mekong Delta region with Dalat, the flower metropolis. The Lâm Đồng Provincial People's Committee reports that, particularly following the pandemic, there have been significantly fewer Vietnam Airlines flights to Liên Khương in recent years. This province is aware of how the local socio-economic growth is significantly impacted by the absence of flight routes.
The Academy of Journalism and Communication, in collaboration with the Academy of Politics Region 4, on the afternoon of May 15, held a seminar on improving communication effectiveness in adapting to climate change.
Delegate statements make apparent that a communication approach was required to shift community understanding and behavior toward the potential presented by climate change, rather than only the problems. Furthermore, to effectively promote the subject, the media must dive thoroughly into each of the public's target groups. For people to be able to cope and adapt, the media must also predict the difficulties posed by climate change. More significantly, big media projects with a long-term strategic focus and communication channels between national and local media agencies are required. The conference is the basis for implementing a state-level scientific project managed by the Ministry of Science and Technology, and Academy of Journalism and Communication is the presiding and implementing agency.
Also on May 15 afternoon in Cần Thơ City, the launching of the project Climate Skills Seeds for Green Transition also took place. The project is an international initiative at the British Council that works with youth to plant the seeds of a low-carbon economy that will replace the high-carbon one. Vietnam is one of the 5 nations taking part in the initiative, along with Brazil, Mexico, India, and Indonesia. The British Council runs it in association with HSBC Bank. The project gives young people who are at risk the tool they need to take part in and contribute to the green transformation. The initiative aims to provide the younger generation with the skills and knowledge they need to participate in the low-carbon economy by building community activities led by young people, removing obstacles in the way of green jobs, and providing the required resources. On the morning of May 15, the Standing Committee of Cần Thơ Youth Union coordinated to organize the inauguration ceremony of the Community Sports Stadium of the Sports Improvement Project Phase 2 in Trường Thành Commune, Thới Lai District, Cần Thơ City.
At a cost of 150 million Vietnamese dong, the stadium was constructed and renovated on the former dilapidated football field. The 4 components of the project are renovating the tiny soccer field, setting up an energy-efficient sport lighting system, and adding outdoor exercise equipment. The community sport fields promote youth union members' participation in sport to enhance community health. To establish a healthy playground and improve communication and unity, the District Youth Union and Vietnam Youth Union Committee of Thới Lai District held football exchanges between union members, young workers, and ethnic and religious youth in the region, following the inauguration ceremony.
Coming up next is the weather forecast. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.